वल्लभा जय गिरिवर दारी जय गिरिवर दारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमयी जय सुदर्शना जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुमे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
So Amit Prabhu, you are co-host. In case if you want to manage anything, you can do that.
Yes, sir, Prabhu.
Okay, we'll continue. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamdirayate Nastapráyeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanyameshwaram Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshrum Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swamiti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayane Gaura Katadamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Tassat. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, verse 19 and 20. Yasyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guyyatamam Shivam Deva Shirnaradaha Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa Yasyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guyyatamam Shivaha Deva Shirnaradaha Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guyyatamam Shivaha Deva Shirnaradaha Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa. I'll read the next sloka also. Then Prabhuji's recite 119 and Mataji's can recite 20. Then read the purport and translation later. Yam manse matulyam priyam mitram suhrutatam akora sachivam dutam saurdha ataha sarathim yam manyase matulyam Priyam mitram suhurtatam akorah sachivam dutam sauhardat ataha sarathim yam manyase matulyam priyam mitram suhurtamam akoraho sachivam dutam sauhardat ataha sarathim. Now maybe Prabhujis can recite 19.
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatapam Shivaha Devarishirnara Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shivaha Devashir Naradar Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shivaha Devarshir Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa
Someone else? Prabhuji's verse number 19, please recite.
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guyyatamam Shivaha Devarshir Naradaha Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa.
Anyone else? If not, okay. Matajis can recite verse number 20.
यम मन्यसे मातुल्ययाम प्रियां मित्रां सुहृतमं अखरो सचिवां दूतं सौहृदात् अथ सारथिम्.
Anyone else? Please. Matajis.
ಪ್ರಭುಜಿ ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಇದೆಯಾ ಪ್ರಭು ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ.
Yeah, sure. I'll do it later.
ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಯಂ ಮಾನಸೆ ಮಾತುಲೇಯಾಂ ಪ್ರಿಯಂ ಮಿತ್ರಂ ಸುಹೃತಮಾಂ ಅಕರೋಃ ಶುಚಿವಾಂ ದೂತಂ ಸೌಹೃದಾತ್ ಅಥ ಸಾರಥಿಂ.
ಯಂ ಮನ್ಯಸೆ ಮಾತುಲೇಯಂ ಪ್ರಿಯಂ ಮಿತ್ರಂ ಸುಹೃತಮಂ ಅಕರೋಃ ಸಚಿವಂ ದೂತಂ ಸೌಹೃದಾತ್ ಅಥ ಸಾರಥಿಂ.
Anyone else? Matajis, please recite.
मन्यसे मातुलेयं प्रियं मित्रं सुहृतमम् अकरो सचिवं दूतं सौहृदात् अथ सारथिम्.
Anyone else? Let us recite Bhagavatam. Okay, so if not, read the synonyms and the translation. Asya, of him, Anubhavam, glories, Bhagavan, the most powerful, Veda, knows, Guhya Tamam, very confidentially, Shivaha, Lord Shiva, Deva Rishihi, the great sage among the demigods, Naradaha, Narada, Sakshat, directly, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Kapilaha, Kapila, Nripa, O King. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: O King, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sage amongst the demigods, and Kapila, the incarnation of Godhead, all know very confidentially about His glories through the direct contact. Purport: pure devotees of the Lord are all Buddhas, or persons who know the glories of the Lord in different transcendental loving services. As the Lord has innumerable expansions of His plenary form, there are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord who are engaged in exchange of services of different humors. Ordinarily, there are 12 great devotees of the Lord, namely Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Bhishma, Janaka, Sukadev Goswami, Bali Maharaj, and Yamaraj. Bhishma Deva, although one of them, has mentioned only 3 important names of the 12 who know the glories of the Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, one of the great Acharya in the modern age, explains that Anubhava, or the glory of the Lord, is first appreciated by the devotee in ecstasy, manifesting the symptom of prospering, trembling, weeping, a bodily eruption, etc., which are further enhanced by steady understanding of the glories of the Lord. Such different understandings of bhavas are exchanged between Yashoda and the Lord, binding Lord by ropes, and in the chariot driving by the Lord in exchange of love with Arjuna. These glories of the Lord are exhibited in his being subordinate before his devotees. And that is another feature of the glories of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami and the Kumaras, although situated in the transcendental position, became converted by another feature of the bhava and turned into pure devotees of the Lord. Tribulations imposed upon the devotees by the Lord constitute another exchange of transcendental bhava between the Lord and the devotees. The Lord says, I put my devotee into difficulty, and thus devotee becomes more purified in exchanging transcendental bhava with me. Placing the devotees into material troubles means delivering him from the illusionary material relationship. The material relations are based on reciprocation of material enjoyment, which depends mainly on the material resources. Therefore, when material resources are withdrawn by the Lord, the devotee is 100% attracted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Thus, the Lord snatches the fallen souls from the mere of material existence. Tribulations offered by the Lord to his devotees are different from the tribulation resulting from various actions. All these glories of the Lord are especially known to the great Mahajans like Bhishma, Shiva, Narada, Kapila, Kumara, and Bhishma. Sorry, first one is Brahma, I'm sorry. As mentioned above, by the grace of these Mahajans, one is able to grasp these glories. Synonyms and translation for the verse number 20. Yam, the persons, manyase, you think, matulyam, maternal cousin, priyam, very dear, mitram, friend, suhrtasamam, ardent well-wisher, akora, executed, sachivam, counsel, dutam, messenger, suhrudat, by goodwill, atha, thereupon, sarathim, charioteer. Translation: O king, that personality whom out of ignorance only you thought to be your maternal cousin, your very dear friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc., is that very personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Krishna, although acting as a cousin, brother, friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc. of the Pandavas, was still the Supreme Personality Godhead out of his causeless mercy and favor upon his unallied devotees. He performs all kinds of services, but that does not mean he has exchanged his position as the absolute person. To think of him as an ordinary man is grossest type of ignorance. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay. So Hare Krishna. Once again, devotees, thank you for joining Sunday morning Mangalarati and Bhagavatam class at Koramangala Center. So welcome you all. Before I start discussing a few points here, I would like to seek the blessings of His Grace Vijayavan Gopal Prabhu and Her Grace Prem Padmini Mataji and all the senior Vaishnavas assembled here. Please bless me so that we can speak few things about the glories of Bhagavatam and for the benefit of my own purification, and if something benefits you, please it is glories of the Bhagavatam, not my point. So as usual, maybe I request devotees to keep pen and paper, because definitely I'll make so many mistakes. Please note down, correct me later. And also, if you have any questions, please ask, so that there are senior devotees who can answer that, so we can discuss later. So Amit Prabhu, as usual, if you can note down some questions, it will be great if possible.
Yes, Prabhu.
We can discuss in the later. Okay, so these are the two verses, talks about quite a lot of important points in our life. Now, what I would like to today take up on in the purport here, Srila Prabhupada talks about why a devotee goes through the miseries, goes through troubles. Of course, quite a lot points Srila Prabhupada covered. We may not have time to cover everything here. We'll try to cover this particular aspect today, the troubles devotees are going through. Because if you look at back the kind of background of this is Yudhishthira Maharaj is lamenting, why did I do this? Because of me, or so many souls have been killed. The war is all happened because of me. So Prabhupada touched upon that particular point here. And Bhishmadev kind of answers that questions here. So we'll try to cover this particular point, the word misery. The whole discussion today is about the misery. Now, we are all practicing devotees. Now, first question to all of us is that, are we going through misery? Is there a kind of misery in our life? Even after coming to Krishna consciousness, is that, are we kind of going through every day? If yes, please tune to, continue to hear. And if you are think that, no, I'm purely 100% out of misery, I'm not getting into any of the miseries, you can do something else. So miseries can be anything. Miseries can be your bodily problems, health related problems. It could be mental problems. It could be relationship problems with our spouse or relatives or, family members, or in the workplace, or within the devotees, or could be miseries related to financial problems, economic problems, could be anything. So now why I'm talking about this, Srila Prabhupada very clearly touch upon this point here in the purport. How and why a devotee goes through a misery, and what is the consequence of it. So the word misery, M-I-S-E-R-Y, that's the word we are going to discuss. The one side of misery is that what we are going through, or what common people going through, M-I-S-E-R-Y. And same misery we flip to other side of it, and we'll see how we can, using this same misery, how we can get out of this material world so that we are out of this misery. Now, first part, my discussion, M stands for Maya, or the material energy. I stands for ignorance. S stands for senses. E stands for enjoyment. R stands for realize. And Y stands for the Yamaraj, or death. So these are the points first we'll cover. And the second part of it, the same misery, M stands for the master. Who is our master? I stands for ignorance, intelligence. And S stands for services. And E stands for engagement. And R stands for relationship. And Y stands for yajna. The first part of the miseries we are discussing, so that we understand what is that misery we are going through, and how second part is that how we can come out of it and become go back to Godhead. Yeah. So in the previous verse, like verse number 16, Srila Prabhupada in the purport writes very wonderful sentences. Prabhupada writes, the bewilderment of Maharaj Yudhishthir over his past sinful acts and resultant suffering, etc., are completely negated by the great authority Bhishma. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj was actually coming and with the very, very, morose mode, yes, saying that because of me, everything happened. Now, Bhishmadev is completely negated that. Prabhupada make that point very clear. It is not sinful acts or that resultant in sufferings. And that particular point is Bhishmadev completely negating, and Srila Prabhupada confirms that. Srila Prabhupada writes that since time immemorial, no one, including such demigods as Shiva, Brahma, could ascertain the real plan of the Lord. This is another point. Of course, the verse number 20 also we understand that the glories of Krishna. So here Prabhupada is saying that the plan of the Supreme Lord, no one could understand. Even Shiva, Brahma, such a great personalities, great devotees of the Lord, great demigods, they could not understand. Then where is our situation? So point is that we are fully should be depend on Krishna. Without that, we cannot plan ourselves without the in cooperation with the plan of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada says that the suffering of the Pandavas were never due to their past deeds. So Pandavas, even though they think that we are suffering, but Prabhupada and of course Bhishmadev confirms that it's not because of their past deeds. It's not a karma. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself confirms that Sarva Dharma Parityajya Mameka Sharan Vraja Aham Ta Sarva Papebhyo Mokshaya Shamasuchaha. One who surrendered fully, I'll take all your sinful activities, sinful reactions. Then where is the question of karma? Now, these are the points we need to meditate upon ourselves. At what stage, our all sin will be taken out? Yes, Krishna guarantees that. Once you surrender to me, leaving everything, sarva dharma, whatever your religious activities, whatever rituals, give up everything, just surrender to me. I will take care of you. The Masucha, do not worry. So here Prabhupada confirming that the Pandavas have never suffered due to their past deeds. And Prabhupada in the same purport finally says that the best policy is to simply abide by the order of the Lord without argument. That is the best policy. Just surrender, like how a small baby surrenders, completely depend on the mother and father. That is the mood in which we can take it, and we will be completely happy and always best situated. Now, in the 17th verse, purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the popular saying is that housewife teaches a daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. Similarly, Lord teaches the world by teaching the devotees. Prabhupada gives an analogy how mother-in-law teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. The same way, the analogy is that Lord is mother-in-law, devotee is daughter, and common people are daughter-in-law. The Lord uses devotees to teach the common people, because common people may not be able to take that pain of difficulties, whereas devotees who understands, who surrendered, he can take it. So that's why Lord uses the devotees to teach to the common people. So you are all pure devotees of the Lord. You understand, if at all something is going through in your life, it is only Lord's plan. It is only Lord using you to teach common people. So even in ISKCON today, there are maybe those who are unmuted, please mute yourself. So even today, there are great sannyasis. They are physically, in our naked eyes, we look at, they are going through difficulties. Sometimes people ask, yes, such a sannyasi, such a wonderful devotee, surrendered his life for the moment for so many years. Why he is going through it? Here, the same point, Prabhupada confirming that actually they are not sufferings. They are not in miseries. They are kind of, for our naked eyes, looks like they are going through difficulties, but they are teaching us a lesson. Even in that situation, how they can engage in Krishna service, and also how we can help others to take up Krishna consciousness. That is a lesson they're giving us Krishna using them to teach lessons. Analogy of mother-in-law teaching to daughter-in-law through the daughter. Prabhupada says that devotee does not have to learn anything new from the Lord, because Lord teaches the sincere devotees always from within. So pure devotees, nothing to learn. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito, Divya Gyan, it comes automatically. Paramatma is there. He teaches us, and we don't have to learn anything. I'm talking about the pure devotees assembly here. So what is that to understand that how do we use our intelligence so that we can surrender and take it forward. Now coming back to today's purport, this is what point I'm trying to cover today. Prabhupada says tribulations imposed upon devotees by the Lord constitute another exchange of transcendental bhava between the Lord and devotees. This is a wonderful, purport Srila Prabhupada writes. Tribulations imposed upon the devotees, you all the pure devotees, if at all you're going through any tribulations in your life, this Prabhupada guarantees this is the bhava, this is the exchange of the Lord and you. There is no sufferings, there is no pain. It is the love, the exchange of Supreme Lord using you to teach the common people. So Lord Srila Prabhupada further writes, Lord says, I put my devotees into difficulties, and thus devotee becomes more purified in exchanging transcendental bhava with me. Lord puts the pure devotees into more difficulties. Placing the devotees into material troubles means delivering him from the illusionary material relationship. When we are in more difficulty means, when we are more misery means that Lord is helping us to progress further. If you are going through the difficulties, miseries in your life, we need to understand that, yes, Lord is helping me to take forward. Going back, Lord is actually exchanging his relationship, exchanging his bhava with me, with us. And Prabhupada writes, tribulation offered by Lord to his devotees are different from the tribulation resulting from the vicious actions. So for a common people, those who are not taken up to Krishna consciousness, those who are not surrendered to Krishna, whatever the tribulation they're going through and what trouble the devotees going through are different. Prabhupada makes that point is very clear here. Thus, Lord snatches the fallen souls from the mere of material existence. So this is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. See, Prabhupada says, Lord snatches the fallen souls because Lord is waiting, take us back. He is waiting to take us back home. Prabhupada says, Lord snatches the fallen souls from the mere of material existence. From the hands of Maya, Lord snatch and take us back. But this kind of a difficulties, whatever we are going through, we should understand that Lord is using this opportunity to take us back. So with this background, we'll try to discuss few points about the misery. We'll first start with the material energy, the Maya. Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita states that the spiritual energy, the internal energy, covered by the material energy, external, it is the covering of the material energy that causes all miseries and sufferings. It is our natural position to experience full pleasure and knowledge. In teachings of Lord Chaitanya, it is said that more we identify with the attached discovering, the material energy, the greater degree of suffering. In the material world, those who are little enlightened suffer less, but on the whole, everyone subject to material miseries and due to being covered by the material energy. So this first yam talks about material energy. So when we consider ourselves, this body, which is the covering, we are sometimes ignorant. Prabhupada says those who are ignorant, they may not know that they're suffering. They are ignorant, but we know that ignorance of law is not excuse. By thinking that I don't know, there is no kind of excuse for that. So they may think that they suffer less, But Prabhupada confirms that everyone is subject to material energy, every is subject to miseries. And there is no excuse for that. There is no exception to that. But once you understand that this covering is only temporary, I am eternal, that is the position, then we'll be able to get to the next level. In teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada writes, our existence in this material world is compared to the sitting on a dunking seat. Formerly, king used to punish the criminal by dunking him on a river, then rising him again for a breath, and then again dunking him once more in water. The material nature punishes and rewards individual entity by just same way. How a criminal is taken into the midst of the water and he was drowned few seconds or few minutes and then released for few seconds or few minutes to breathe. That is the time he feels, oh, I'm so great now. I'm at least relieved. I can breathe. So that is the enjoyment we are going through. Otherwise, we are full of miseries. And with only that time, the little time given us to breathe, that is the happiness, the relief we have. So that is a maya, that is a material energy. Yes. Because Prabhupada further says, sometimes we are above the water and it seems that we are enjoying. Sometimes we are submerged in and therefore we are suffering. When we are out of the water, we think that we are enjoying, and majority times we are inside the water. Prabhupada further says that the miseries of material world are also indirect reminders of incompatibility with the dead matter. The intelligent living entity generally takes note of these reminders and side by side engages themselves in a culture of vidya or transcendental knowledge. Ishopanishad, page number 56. The miseries, what we get is indirect reminder, the incompatibility of the dead matter. Material of energy and the spirit soul, we are incompatible. We are not compatible. Like the fish will be happy in the water. When taken out of the water, it's not compatible. Similarly, when we are here in this material world, we are not compatible. Prabhupada says incompatible, because we are not belongs to this place. Prabhupada, many places written that this place not meant for gentlemen. Of course, ladies also. So this place is not meant for devotees. We have to go back to Krishna. Yes, at the same time, we understand that the devotees come here to preach the glories and take up the Krishna consciousness, serve the Lord. For them, this place is also Vaikuntha. Well, that's a transcendental position they have. Otherwise, this place not meant for us. So Prabhupada further says that the suffering of the humanity is a result of the misuse of discriminatory power or little independence which is given to the individual soul. Now, why the misery is coming? The misery is due to the misuse of discriminatory power or the little independence we have. The independence given to the soul is trying to enjoy, that is the result of the misery we are going through. The part and parcels are meant for serving the whole. When such part and parcel misuse the independence, they are subject to the laws of miseries as the matter of like police action. So the first point we are talking about yam, the material energy, unless we are compatible with the Supreme Lord, we here in this material world, we are incompatible. That's Krishna says, Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. This place is place of misery only. So for the first part, we need to understand that this place is not meant for me. And this I have to get out of this. In one of the lecture, His Holiness Jayadeva Maharaj, when somebody asked, you say that we are part and parcel of Lord, then why are we here? Maharaj says that if somebody pushed you into the well, when you are drowning, don't ask questions why I'm here. You try to get out of it and save yourself. The same answer here. We are here to not proper. That's why I said, without any argument, you have to surrender and get out of this place. Now, this is the first point of yam. Next point is I, ignorance. His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada writes, the power to analyze things in their proper perspective. If we understand that contact with the senses and material body is the source of suffering, then we have a proper prospective discriminatory intelligence. If we don't use intelligence, we are in ignorance. We are in the ignorance that we don't know who I am. I'm again talking about the, not the pure devotees here. I'm talking about myself and other people. Unless I understand that I'm this spirit soul, my duty to serve the Supreme Lord, I'm in ignorance. So that ignorance is the cause for miseries. Prabhupada further says that when one fails to take advantage of intelligence, he becomes degraded man. So the living being depend on intelligence on the direction of Supreme Being. Bhagavatam 2.235 purport, Srila Prabhupada writes. So how we use the ignorance and take the ignorance to the intelligence, the next part we are going to discuss or connected to this. That is how we'll be able to come out of it. While contemplating the objects of senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops in Bhagavad Gita 2.62-63, how the bewilderment, the delusion and bewilderment memory, and finally we lost everything. Intelligence is lost because in ignorance. When we remove that ignorance, our intelligence start working. So intelligence should take over our kind of mind and senses. Then that intelligence used for Krishna services. So we can understand that we are, not this body. We are the spirit soul who are supposed to serve the Supreme Lord. Jivera Swarupa Nityara Krishnadas. So Prabhupada further says, ignorance like animal existence. Animal life is full of suffering, but animal does not know that he is suffering. So Prabhupada says that, if you don't understand I'm suffering, I'm in ignorance, I'm like an animal. Because animal don't know. The goat who is going to be slaughtered sees the goat in front of him getting slaughtered, but still he is enjoying the grass. He doesn't know he'll get slaughtered very soon, because of course the consciousness that level. But we, the human being, has got better consciousness. We need to understand how to come out of this ignorance using my intelligence. So it is a duty of disciple approaching a spiritual master to inquire about the constitutional position. In response to that spiritual process, Sanatana Goswami has already asked what I am and why I am suffering the threefold miseries. So when Sanatana Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the kind of questions asked. Atado Brahma Jinyasa. At least now, let us ask these questions. So that question, that why I am suffering, why this misery is on me, let's ask this question, try to understand this. In the another paragraph, Prabhupada says, those ignorance may not understand the miserable conditions they are actually in. Indeed, they may think they are happy, but they does not actually elevate their condition. So when we are in ignorance, we don't even know that I'm suffering. And that is a more difficult situation. It's like the person suffering from disease. If he doesn't know he is suffering, he may not go to the doctor at all. And at least the person understands, yes, there is a disease. He may go to doctor and he gets cured, gets some medicine. So that is the problem with our material world today. So in Bhagavad Gita 5.12, Yukta kama phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naistikhim avyakto kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. The steadily devoted soul attains the unadulterated peace because he offers the result of activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy, the fruits of labor becomes entangled. So here again Krishna is saying, how ignorant the people, they enjoy everything. That's the next point we're going to discuss, that how they suffer, how they totally in a kind of a delusioned situation, and they are in a not able to come out of it unless we understand. So like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati give an example. Suppose I am holding on a tree and I'm screaming, please leave me, leave me. No, it's not possible. I have to leave that holding on. So similarly, the ignorance is that I'm attached, I should give up. So that is the intelligence I should use, you know. So how the intelligence is that everyone is intelligent. That Prabhupada says that I have already explained. Everyone has got brain and intelligence, but he has to use it properly. That is wanted. That is education. You cannot teach stone how to manufacture this microphone. That is not possible because he has no intelligence. But even one is dull-minded, you can teach him by education how to manufacture this microphone. So intelligence is there everywhere, every living entity. Now to train them how to utilize the intelligence, so one has to be, who is fortunate to become trained in the intelligence, how to go home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada is saying that everyone got intelligence. Maybe degree could be little up and down, more or less, but we should train. So when I get something, I should share with others. That is real prachar. That is real Krishna consciousness. This Prabhupada is saying here, that has to be taught to others, train others, those who are in ignorance. Give this knowledge, whatever the best possible ways. Use our all intelligence. Nowadays, for book distribution, devotees are using all kind of techniques. That's all Krishna consciousness. Use it for the making other people come out of ignorance. So that ignorance has to be taken out using the intelligence. So like Bhakti Rasamrita says, Sarvopadi vinurmuktam tat pravartena nirmalam krishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. And Supreme Personality Godhead, the master of all senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, and there are two side effects. One is freed from material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. Now the next, the senses. So senses, like Prabhupada many places said, the senses like a poisonous snake. There's more dangerous. It can bite anytime, and it has very difficult to control. So Rupa Goswami says that we should engage that senses, the services, the senses should be engaged in services. So yes stands for senses, and same yes can be used, the senses can be used to service of the Lord. Then that same sense can be purified, like Ambarish Maharaj, how he used his all senses for the service of the Lord. Similarly, we can use our senses. We are sarvopadin vinirmuktam. We have to give up all our upadis, my positions, my holding ons. Like, we say that how the monkey's been caught, the hunter, he keeps the small vessel or a tender coconut with a small hole. Monkey puts on his hand and want to take the pulp inside the tender coconut, and holds the tender coconut pulp and wants to remove the hand. Because the hole is so small, monkey cannot take the hand out. And that's the time hunter comes. But the monkey doesn't want to leave the pulp and remove the hand. Monkey is holding on to that pulp inside the hand, and he is not able to run. That's the time the hunter catches the monkey. So we are like this. Our senses want to get enjoyment and get attached so many things in our life. If you give up vinirmuktam, give up all the upadis, and that is the bhakti ruchyate, that is the real bhakti, and then we can come out of the ignorance. So that is the next level. Now senses has to be used, otherwise like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Esam praja bhoga dukkha yona evate adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. 522. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have beginning and end, so the wise man does not delight in them. So ignorance, who was using the senses, they should come out of it. Use the intelligence. An intelligent person does not take part in this miseries. Our miseries, if we use intelligence, we can come out of it. That's what Krishna is. And for that misery, there is a beginning, there is end. But the wise man only can use his delight and come out of it. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Now, next point, we are talking about yam, I, the material energy, ignorance. Material energy, yam stands for Maya and material energy. Same yam can be used understanding the master. Who is my master? Master is Supreme Lord. How I am in this material world, I can engage in the service of the Master, Supreme Lord. I can come out of it. Now, next, the intelligence, the ignorance can be used. I mean, we can come out of the ignorance using the intelligence. And S stands for senses. The senses has to be engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. Same yes can be used to service of the Lord. Then we can come out of it. Then comes E, enjoyment. We want enjoy. If you look at all our activities with the, if you really understand, if you go deep into that, so everywhere is because we want to enjoy. The enjoying mentality is that one is the cause for majority of the problems. Whatever I see, yes, I want that. I want to grab, I want to do, I want to get that. It's because of the enjoying mentality. When I don't get that enjoyment, I get envy or anger. When somebody else gets it, I become envy. Yes, why he getting it? Why not me? And I get anger. Like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that anger becomes delusion. We lose everything. Intelligence lost. So the bhoga means enjoyment. Enjoyment is enjoyment of life. Everyone wants to enjoy. Prabhupada writes that. No, who does not want to enjoy? What is that? No enjoyment? No, it's not possible. Pure life, pure constitution made of enjoyment. So demands for enjoyment naturally, it is not unnatural, but process of enjoyment is. Therefore, we do not get complete satisfaction by material enjoyment. The enjoyment is birthright because you are spirit soul, spirit soul. Srila Prabhupada says. We cannot take the enjoyment. Enjoyment is natural for a soul. But what is that real enjoyment? Real enjoyment is engagement. When we engage ourselves in the service of the Lord, that is a real enjoyment. And what we enjoy with the senses and the material world is the sufferings, the misery. That same enjoyment, we use it for Krishna service. That is the engagement with that becomes the happiness. Like His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj says that Srila Prabhupada has given us two kinds of God. One is Jagannath. Feed him as much bhoga as possible and enjoy the prasad. Eat, whatever possible, as much as possible. Of course, Krishna Prasad. And another God is given as such Gauranitai. Sing and dance, nicely sing and dance. What else a devotee wants? Even if you look at the karmis, what do? They go to club, eat, sing, dance, right? What else? That's the only thing. And we devotees also in the temple eat, sing, dance. That is a real enjoyment can be engaged in the service of the Lord. Then Prabhupada he says that when there is a question of enjoyment, all the parties who are participate in a particular type of enjoyment, they enjoy. So the perfection of enjoyment, when God desired that I should expand himself so that I can enjoy. This is the enjoyment is not deficient. But if you want to enjoy, not to enjoy with the God, but if you want to enjoy in a different way, that is a misfortune. When you want to enjoy by serving the Lord, that is a fortune. When I want to enjoy in separation with the Lord, that is a misfortune. Srila Prabhupada says that. So that is the cause of our fall down. When I want to enjoy in separation with the Lord, and Srila Prabhupada says that enjoyment, everybody, all parties can enjoy. All devotees can enjoy together. But when I want to become separate, when I want to be independent, that is a misfortune. Since enjoyment must be there, but there is a spiritual sense enjoyment, purified sense enjoyment. We are training people in that way. Prabhupada writes that we don't stop your sense enjoyment, but enjoy in a purified state, because sense enjoyment cannot be stopped. You are living beings. Srila Prabhupada confirms that. We cannot stop enjoying, but we have to engage everybody so that everybody enjoy in the real sense and eternal enjoyment, so that we get permanent happiness. Otherwise, we may not be happy at all. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita 6.2.1 says, Sukham atyantikam yad atindriyam bhavam. The transcendental sukha will get only when we serve the Supreme Lord. That engagement of enjoyment will give the maximum satisfaction and the maximum, and that is the eternal, that is the long-lasting enjoyment. And that is what will take us back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada says that there is a practical example. 100, Prabhupada gives example how we can engage ourselves. Suppose there is 100 rupees on the road. There are three ways somebody may take that 100 rupees and use it for himself. So Prabhupada says he's thief. That is bhoga. That's enjoyment. That money doesn't belong to me. If I take that, I'm become a thief. And someone else may think that, oh, it's not belongs to me. Let me not touch. Leave it and go. Prabhupada says he's fool. It's tyaga. There are so many Mayavad sannyasis. When somebody gave Lakshmi money, he said, no, I'm sannyasi. I cannot touch money. Srila Prabhupada said, bring all that money to me. I will take. I will use it for Krishna service. That is the real intelligence. So the person who saying that, no, I'll not touch the money, is fool. That is a tyaga in the point. But the person who understands that and takes his money and find out who is the real owner of it, hands over that money to that person, that is seva. That is devotion. That is bhakti. Similarly, when whatever we get in our life, whatever we have, we could have intelligence, we could have our own educational experiences, we could have wealth, and we could have skills. Use it for Krishna services. That is intelligence. That is seva. That is bhakti. That is the real engagement. Now we discussed yam, I, yes, and now comes R. We need to realize who are we. That is another point. So Prabhupada says absolute truth. One is adya jnana, without any duality, but according to our capacity, we realize absolute truth from different angles and different visions. Prabhupada quotes Brahmeti, Parameti, Bhagavaniti. We can realize, Lord in a different way. But point we are trying to understand, realize who I am. Arthadham means you can realize yourself. That is the greatest achievement. Prabhupada says that if you can realize yourself, whether you are the body or your soul, that is called self-realization. Prabhupada concludes here saying that that is a realization. Once we have that realization, our misery is out. Then that same R has to be used relationship. Once we realize it, we should use that relationship. Relationship with the devotees, relationship with the Lord. When we have the good relationship with the Lord, loving relationship, loving exchange, the relationship with the devotees, the whole congregation, the community can serve the Supreme Lord, and we can develop the relationship. That is a real sambandha. We can develop that. So same R, once we realize it, I'm not this body, I'm the spirit soul, I can engage that understanding with the relationship of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada says that who cannot realize the supreme cause, they are instructed how to realize it. How to realize it. If one drinking water, you think Now the taste of is Krishna. Rasoham apso kaunteya. He says that I am the taste of the water. So everyone is drinking water. There is no man who does not drink water, at least. So if he remembers, now the taste is a taste of is Krishna, then remembering Krishna, that is the real realization. But Srimad Bhagavatam 7.23, Prabhupada writes that. So to realize Krishna, realize who I am, is that difficulty? Prabhupada says no, it's so easy. Even simplest thing, like while drinking water, I can realize, yes, this is a taste given by Krishna. If Krishna can bring such a taste into the water, how great he should be. There are so many ways we can realize. We go under the banyan tree. There is a banyan seed, the small seed. Inside that, millions of banyan trees involved. If Krishna can put so many seeds into that small the fruit, how great is that? Is it not difficult to realize Krishna? So we need to develop that relationship with the Supreme Lord. With that, we'll be able to understand. So R stands for realization. With the realization, we develop the relationship. Our relationship is that, with the Supreme Lord, Jivera Sorupe Nityera Krishnadas. Understand that I am the servant, not only servant of Krishna, we are servant of all the paraphernalia of Krishna. So when paraphernalia means all the devotees of the Krishna. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Dasa, 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 Anudasa. But many times in my life, also I'm talking about myself, that Dasa, Dasa, Das not comes, always comes boss, 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 boss. I want to enjoy. I want to control. I want to, everything should happen what I want. Me and myself, that is the kind of stumbling blocks for the relationship. When that stumbling blocks removed, our relationship can improve. Then the last one comes Y, M-I-S-R-E, yes, finally Y, Yama, death. So the most fearful for anybody, any living entity, is death. Leaving the body and getting out of the body, that's actual death. My leaving this body and going out, that is the death. So for that, we are actually so much fearful of death. We see so many politicians, they have so many securities, Z security, that security, bulletproof car, so many things. Yeah, why? Because they want to die. They don't want to die. They want to be protected. Of course, we know when Krishna wants, nobody can protect. Yamaraja comes, no Z security or Z plus security, everything will be taken out so easily. So that is the why we need to understand. We need to understand that death is guaranteed. There is no way we can get out of it. But we should use that same why, Yama, death, to yajna, sacrifice. When you use the same realization for yajna, the sacrifice, the death becomes so peaceful, and it's a kind of it is like death is like the devotee going plus one place to another. He is put into this material world for some services, and he's going back to Krishna. That's just traveling. It doesn't give any pain for devotee. In His Holiness Bhakti Samaraj, in his books, write Die Before Dying. He says that, he quotes Srila Prabhupada. In late October 1977, Srila Prabhupada said, do things very carefully. I'm already dead, but still I'm giving you the instruction as far I can. This is Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj quoting Srila Prabhupada. Further, Maharaj says, though this statement, he was reminding us that he would soon be leaving, but he also sending a reminder that we are all around the corner from the death. So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj saying that when Srila Prabhupada says that I'm already dead, we also understand that Srila Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. He is Saktavesh Avatar. He has come here to kind of take away all the fallen souls. So he is giving us a reminder. Bhakti Maharaj saying that he is reminding is because death is very near to us. We are all about to leave. He is giving us a reminder so that we take it seriously. Understand, die before dying. So very soon we have a special appointment, death. Bhakti Maharaj says that in the whole chapter, he says we'll have a special appointment with the death. That appointment, we don't know the date, but definitely each one of us has to go through the appointment. That is the time we face. That is the time we get the difficult questions. What did I do? What you have done? You know, Yamaraj and the agents of Yamaraj, Yamadutas and Chitragupta going to ask the difficult questions. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? You know, so before that appointment, let's prepare. Before that interview, let's prepare for the interview. Like when you go for a job, we prepare for the interview, right? We prepare what kind of a question will be asked so that I can answer right questions. So let us prepare for that interview so that we can give the right answer so that I can get out of this place as early as possible. So Maharaj says, death removes everything that is false. Death reveals us to our true friends. Death exposes our true priorities. Death brings forth wisdom. Death educates us of fears and weakness. But most importantly, death reminds us that these material bodies and material universes are not our homes. Maharaj says that death brings the wisdom. Death educates us our fears and weaknesses. Most importantly, death reminds us who is our friend, who is our foe. You know, in normal circumstances, we understand. We think that this is the best friend, and who is giving all kind of sense gratifications, all kind of facilities. We think that he is our friend. No, he is not our friend. He is only enemy. He is making you to suffer more. And person who make us realize what you are doing wrong so that you come out of it, he is a real friend. So that is a death, which teaches us lessons. But present yourself, see that she has to offer. After all, she is just faithful, loyal servant of Supreme Lord. Maharaj says that yes, death is a servant of Supreme Lord, and Yamaraj doing a job to punish the sinful people, so that take us back and punish. Similarly, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj has written a book on death. So many times when we speak to the people, they say, hey, why are you talking about all these negative things, death, But Prabhupada has given us the moment. This moment is not art of living. Prabhupada never taught us to live here. Prabhupada has given us art of living so that we go back to our eternal home. That is, and if you want to go back to God, go back to Krishna, we have to leave this body. Death is inevitable. So that is what art we should teach, that yama, why. So now I'll just conclude now. So we are talking about a misery, why devotee goes through misery. Again, I'm talking about only devotees or material world. Yam, because we are in a material world, Maya. And I is we are in ignorance. And Yam, I, yes, we are enjoying this. Senses are more dangerous. And E is we are enjoying the senses. And R, we are not realized that I'm in this body. Now, same misery can be used. Same understanding Yam for master. Who is my master? Who Supreme Lord is my master. And devotees of Supreme Lord, all my master. And then use my intelligence for the service of the Supreme Lord, and use my senses for serving the Lord, yes, and engage that senses, Supreme Lord, and build the relationship, the devotees and Lord, and finally do the yajna. Yajna is a Sankirtan yajna, chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This yajna, sacrifice what we can do, that is the best thing. Now, yes, that yajna can be done. Book distribution also is kind of yajna. Go out, distribute as many Srila Prabhupada books as possible. This is a great opportunity we have now. Gita Jayanti is running. So everybody should give this mercy, this yajna, to as many people as possible. That is the real intelligence. And that will help for us to come out of the misery. like 18th chapter, verse 68 and 69, Krishna says that there is nobody dear to me who is preaching my glories, and I guarantee you they'll come back. 68, 69, he says that. So if you want to go back, if you want to develop love of Krishna, the only process is that preach. And preaching, book distribution is the best preaching opportunity we have. Use that as yajna, and with that we also go back, we take everybody to along with us. With this, I'll conclude. Hare Krishna. If devotees want to share, share, if I make some mistakes, please correct me. Hare Bol. Om Tassat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you very much for this very nice and well-researched class as usual you can expect from Prasadeshwara Prabhu. I wanted to add 3 realizations. Just switch off your mic. Switch off your speaker.
You are muted, Prabhu. Can't hear you. You are muted.
Okay, now you can hear?
Yeah, Prabhu. Yes, yeah.
Okay. So, the first thing I wanted to add was that you have given those 2 types, what the materialists suffer and what the devotees. Now here, the tendency is that we will think, oh, they, the materialists, are suffering like that, we, the devotees, and all those other things. We think that, oh, we are like that. Like, see, it is not our fault. Krishna is just enjoying with us. So, but we should not think like that. We should think that for others, but for ourselves, we should think that I've got this, bad karma. I've been so bad in the past, which is true. Yeah, we won in Kali Yuga, it was not that we were so bad. Somehow, by good fortune of and blessings of the devotees, I'm here. But Krishna, whatever suffering I'm enduring, is a fraction of the suffering which I deserve, and therefore, this suffering is something to purify me. Yes, it is purify me because I need to be purified. And Krishna is very kindly giving me just a fraction of the suffering. So that means we don't blame Krishna or feel miserable, but we understand it is our fault. Another aspect of misery is that now you talked about how Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj talks about death. In death you will find out so many things. Actually, we don't have to go till death to find out who's your friend and who's your enemy. If you are in trouble, then you'll know very well who's your friend, who's your enemy. Because people who are your real friends, they will stand by you. In all the troubles you have, they will stand by you. They will not try to add to your misery. Well, those who don't stand by you, then they will be enjoying your misery. They are not going to stand by you. And they will very easily ditch you. So even without going to death, our suffering helps us in that. One more thing I wanted to add was yes about Krishna, how about our relationship with Krishna, your heart, developing relationship with Krishna. Now, it is impossible for us to develop our relationship with Krishna directly because we are so such sense enjoyers. So, our relationship to Krishna, in the beginning we may think I develop a relationship with Krishna, but as you advance more, then you realize that I can only relate to the devotees. I can only serve the devotees, I can only serve the devotees, and if the devotees are happy with my service, then Krishna is happy. And not just Guru. See, Guru is present physically, then you can say, yes, I can serve Guru and I will know directly whether he's happy or not. But when Guru is not, then through the other devotees, you serve the devotees very nicely. You know Guru is happy, you know Prabhupada is happy, you know Krishna is happy. So one very important aspect of pleasing Krishna is that we must have complete faith in the parampara. We should not have doubts. Oh, what did Prabhupada mean? What did Chaitanya mean? What did Lord Chaitanya mean? What did my Guru Maharaj mean? We should not have any doubts like that. Our only doubt is I cannot understand. That is all. Not that why is he saying like this, why is he saying like that. If you don't have any doubts, you have complete faith in the full parampara, then definitely your relationship with Krishna will be wonderful, and certainly you can go back to God at this lifetime. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's real understanding. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Before you ask the questions and discuss, I'm sure people will be very enthusiastic to share because it's been a wonderful class too and covered very nice points. And I just want to add on the material aspect where you said how we can experience Krishna through the material things like through water, taste of water, and so on. That's the way of Samkhya. So that is something devotee, sometimes we don't they undermine the material experience by thinking it is all material. And it's like a Mayavati. What we do is we think this is all Maya, and so we have to just not think about matter. And so what happens is we are not able to connect matter with Krishna. And so we think we have to renounce it. Just like you also gave the example of how Prabhupada said, give me money, I will use it for Krishna. The same way, all the beauty and everything that we see around us, we can be more aware of it and see how the connection with Krishna. And then, we will be more complete. We will not put lines and think, oh, if I see this, I'll get into Maya. If I talk to somebody, or if I read something or enjoy something, then, I will immediately go into Maya. But rather, in the beginning, this is what I observed, and it's only except for me in the morning walk, used to be interested with everything. What is that? Which company is this? Who is doing this? And to wonder, oh, how come he's so interested in all external things, And that was my Mayavadi kind of understanding. And so, but it's still, the more we see, we have to see the connection with Krishna. And then we can really enjoy material life also. Like Prabhupada used to get really excited just to see one baby in the Boston, and he went there and a small baby, it was trying to walk, and first step it took in front of Prabhupada. Prabhupada's eyes there, he became very excited about it. So, because he knew this is all Krishna's energy, everything he connected. So we can enjoy life even more, and that matter is also coming from Krishna. It is not separate from Krishna, like the Mayavadi think this is not there, it is not there, not this, not this. But it is with Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other devotees? Any comments, feedback, questions?
Should I ask the question, bro?
Yeah, if anybody got any questions, we can give them opportunity. If not, you can question them.
Not, no, just talking.
So nobody in a misery. One thing is kind of guaranteed here. All the devotees are in transcendental situation. So
Prabhuji, I have a question, Prabhuji.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, there's two types of mysteries. Like you said, one is probably the Lord puts us under mystery to make us to learn or something like that. And the other one is due to our past karma we are going through. And obviously for the past karma one, we need to do some rectification. We need to correct our souls. And for the other kind of misery is probably we have to just hope that Krishna will save us at the end and just carry on. So there's one we need to act. The other one is we just leave it to Krishna. So how do we differentiate between these two types of miseries? Sometimes we kind of take it for granted. So we kind of misunderstand one type of misery to the other. And there could be things that we were doing wrong and we are suffering for that. And we could have been corrected. But instead we will think, oh yeah, no, I'm going to take it like, okay, this is given by Lord, I'm going to carry on. So how do we differentiate between these two, and how do we correct ourselves, and where do we depend on the Krishna?
Thank you, Prabhu. I think His Grace Vijay Prabhu also touched on this point. So yeah, the point is well taken. But if you really understand, the only action is that our devotion. I mean, if you really understand the final point, Krishna says, give up everything, surrender to me. That is the real action. And when we do that, all our karma is taken care. All our sinful activities, sinful reactions are taken care. So then there is no other action required. Yes, at beginning stage, we are not kind of surrendered, following the four regulative principles. At least, yes, I've done something in the past. At least now onwards, I will not do it. That's why, like when Jagai Madai kind of surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, said, okay, you're done past, okay, now stop. So for our life also, once we realize it, once we get that intelligence, we get the knowledge, stop. At least now let's not do it, so that we progress in our bhakti. Devotion can burn our karmas. Yes, certain things we'll have to go through, and that is not real suffering. That's why Prabhupada also confirms, Bhishmadeva also says that, so Krishna puts the devotees in the difficulty to teach others. So many times we may not be our past karma at all. We have been used to teach others. I'm talking about the pure devotees, so that perspective, we don't have to worry what I'm going through. We depend on Krishna completely. When that status is there, I think everything is taken care. Krishna will take care of. Maybe I'll request other senior devotees, Vijayavanu Prabhu, to comment on this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, I think Prabhu wanted to have a clear answer. I want to give a clear answer. What I said, I'll repeat again. As far as we are concerned, we don't think that, that I have not got karma. There are two types of misery. As far as we are concerned, we only recognize one type of misery, that it is my bad karma. I have done bad things. That's why I'm suffering. And Prabhupada clearly said that what we are suffering is only a fraction. He gave an example like once, just for us to know, even though it doesn't apply to him, he had a bit applied. That once his finger got cut while cutting vegetables or something, and he said, actually, I should have been killed. I should have died, actually. Krishna just gave me a small suffering like this. So we have to be very clear that my suffering is of only one type. It is not of two types. My suffering is because of my bad karmas, and they need a lot of correction. We should not think, oh, I don't need correction, and Krishna is just doing it. He's showing an example to the others. We should not think like that about us. That is, see, I will be an example to others. That is very fucked up if you think like that. What we have to do is, we have to say, be very clear, and we have to go to the senior devotees and find out what is our anarthas. Not that I don't have anarthas and therefore I don't need Krishna using me as an example. We should never think of that about ourselves. We can only think of that about others. For ourselves, we have to be very clear. My karma, my bad karma, my bad activities, my anarthas, Krishna is trying to remove. Very lovingly he is moving. And of course, we cannot see our own bad karma. Okay, we always can see only the good things about us. Bad things, we cannot see. So we have to go to the senior devotees and ask them. Those who know us, not someone who's distant. Those who know us, we must discuss with them that I'm suffering these things. I'm sure I've got faults, and find out. And different devotees might know different faults. So this is very important. Earlier when we were in market, we used to have one thing called Ishtoshti, where we used to, someone used to say, now please, I want all the devotees to find out my faults. So we used to go 10, 15 of us. So we sit in a circle, and then someone will say, please tell my faults. And then the other devotees would write down, because if someone speaks it out, they may feel embarrassed. So they'll write down anonymously, what fault they see. And also a thing also, both they'll write down. And then they'll all be given to that person, and then that person will read it out, all this fault. So that, you can find out your faults. We've never done it after mustard, because after we grew up, we couldn't do it. But we definitely need to remove our faults. Our whole life will be spent removing faults. And so we need the association of devotees. Constantly we must be getting feedback from devotees about our faults. And that's what we have to do throughout our life.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else? Any other comments, feedback, questions?
Hare Krishna, this is Prasanatma here. So Prabhu, just a follow-up question, if I can say, or I'm not sure if the understanding is right based on the question that Vinod Prabhu put up, and then heard Prasadeshwara Prabhu's answer as well as Prabhu's answer. So Prabhu, while to one extent what Vinod Prabhu says is like we may not know, and then you very rightly pointed out that we should, there is no need for us to know. It is just that it's our karma playing on. And then we will have to take it as the mercy of the Lord. So that was one point that that's making sense, or it's aligning. But then another thought was, am I right in saying this, that whether the karma is or my misery is because of my past karma, or let us also take theoretically that Krishna is testing. Either way, our reaction to the misery is going to be the same, isn't it, Prabhu? So we don't really have to worry too much about whether it is this or that. The way I react is going to be the same. I mean, the way I'm supposed to react in taking that misery as a mercy of the Lord. So is that how it should be looked at?
Yeah, I think what Vijayan Prabhu also said the same thing. So yes, we need to understand that, yes, my karma, yeah, I mean, really, we look at, yes, I'm the sinner. I mean, because of me, it's everything happens. But at the same time, what Prabhu is saying that, we need to understand, many times I may not know I'm sinner. I may be puffed up, I'm doing my chanting, I may think that I'm the great devotee. So that's why the Prabhu gave an example of Istagosti, and so we understand where I am, so that at least I'll be able to realize myself, so that I can improve myself. Maybe that's what the Prabhu is answering, and maybe yes, your point is also right. Yes, final action, yes, whatever it is, our final action is to surrender Supreme Lord. That is the final action. Surrender the Supreme Lord through devotees of Guru and Gauranga. So that's the kind of my reaction could be. Venugopal Prabhu, if any comments on this? Sorry,
Yeah,
I think
thank you,
Prabhu
Prabhu.
is muted. Is that okay, Prabhu? Prasannath Prabhu?
Prabhu, it clarified. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other comments, feedback? Otherwise, Amit Prabhu, you have anything?
Yes, Prabhu. So, Hare Krishna. So, can any devotee tell what is like a different words? The word full definition, the misery, like what is M stands for, what is I stands for? Any devotee?
Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
What did you say, Prabhuji?
Yeah, no, I'm asking. Just tell the word of misery. What all stands for?
Maya, ignorance, then engagement, realize, and
So
yama.
M stands for Maya. That is correct.
Yes.
I stands for
ignorance.
okay. S stands for
Yes, stands for I forgot.
Senses.
Senses, and then engagement, then
E stands for engagement.
and then realize R, Y for Yamraj, that is death. And the other way is for if you use it for Krishna service, it is master, intelligence, services, and then engaging our that I forgot.
Engagement and then R for
And then
relationship.
Relationship with Krishna, and then
And
yagna,
Y for yagya, yes. And I for intelligence and M
I
for
for
Maya
intelligence.
and master.
Master.
Okay. Should we go for more questions, Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu. Already 9:30. Unless unless devotee want to ask, otherwise I'm okay. Okay, so we'll stop here. Granthar Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.